So I recently posted a video on the Victoria Derbyshire programme interviewing Sargon of Akkad on BBC Two, which was a smear attempt by the BBC, a British taxpayer-funded, supposedly unbiased broadcaster. Now in this video I'm going to discuss the Sargon of Akkad interview with Victoria Derbyshire that was taped before being aired on the 16th of May 2019. The interview nearly completely consists of her asking why he made a joke about not even raping the MP Jess Phillips while ignoring everything he says in response.
Some comments from your social media pages after your video. Romy Tobinson, well, she wants some action.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not accounting for what other people have said. I'm only going to be accountable for what I've said. I'm sorry, no, that's inappropriate.
This is normalising.
Would you like
rape
some
discourse.
of the things that people have said to me because of watching your programme?
Romy Tobinson says, in response to your video, well, she wants some action. I've had a chat with a brewery and they'll find the beer. I've ordered a paper bag. I think you will need it. You will have to buckle down and think of England. I am not AN says, honest question here, mate. Would you rape Jess Phillips? Trevor
I don't
Seedis.
believe that these are real.
They are.
Proof to.
Trevor Seedis.
Why are you making up comments that other people have apparently said?
Jess wants action now. Rapey action, I'll wager. You are normalising this kind of language.
I'm normalising jokes, yes.
To get some context, let's quickly take a look at the so-called rape joke he made. Well, this will be pretty easy since it's not even a joke about rape. It's a joke about her being too ugly to have sex with, even if it's not a very good joke. Which he then made another joke in a comedy stand-up video where he said,
there's been an awful lot of talk about whether I would or would not even rape Jess Phillips. I've been in a lot of trouble for my hardline stance of not even raping her. I suppose with enough pressure, I might cave. But let's be honest, nobody's got that much beer.
Which is also the same style as joke as the first, just much funnier. Now, we all know that there's not enough beer to have sex with a woman you think is ugly is not exactly a new joke, it's kind of old. And while the BBC sit there outraged about this so-called rape joke and the damage it apparently does to people, what some people may be unaware of is the current BBC comedian and host of a current BBC Two programme made a joke about Harvey Price, who is the disabled son of a reality TV star and former model Katie Price, also known as Jordan. In this, he jokes about her needing to marry an MMA fighter to stop Harvey from raping his mother. Listen for yourselves. Do you notice how the BBC are not outraged by their own comedian who made an actual joke about rape? A comedian who currently hosts the BBC Two programme Frankie Boyle's New World Order? No, they kept that quiet during the interview, I've noticed. Now if you watch the end of the interview with Sargon of Akkad and Victoria Derbyshire, she actually states that they cut some of the interview out where he names comedians who make similar jokes.
Carl Benjamin talking to us in an interview recorded just before we came on air. By the way, in the interview he gave one answer in which he pointed out that several comedians have made jokes about sexual assault, which is true in some cases. We took that short bit out because we couldn't find evidence that all of the people he named have done that.
Now my guess is he likely named a few BBC comedians, including the one I've already named, who have made some dark jokes, so they had to cut that bit out to maintain the moral high ground. The only issue I have with that is the BBC is forgetting something. It can never take the moral high ground when it comes to rape. They covered up their biggest star, actually raping disabled children for nearly half a century. Let's all remember back to October 2012 when it was first reported the programme's Newsnight investigation into allegations of sexual abuse against one of the biggest stars on the BBC's roster, Jimmy Savile, had been shelved shortly before it was due to be broadcast in December 2011. The information on this is vast as the number of victims is over 400. probably making him the world's most prolific serial sex offender, abusing both girls and boys aged as young as 8 years old for at least 40 years. Now, immediately after Savile's death, 2 BBC reporters from the aforementioned BBC Newsnight programme began investigating reports Jimmy Savile had sexually abused children. The Newsnight team also included at least one former police detective. They interviewed witnesses both on camera and off camera about the abuse they received at the hands of Jimmy Savile while at schools, hospital and every BBC filming location he had ever been to. The same Newsnight team found a police report from 2009 that the BBC star had sexually abused 22 pupils and 1 visitor in the 1970s at a school in that county. The Newsnight programme was scheduled to be broadcast on the 7th of December 2011, but the BBC took the decision to cancel it. I wonder why. Now, the detective involved in the shelved Newsnight programme then went on to research and present his own programme on the subject on ITV, another British TV channel. That was broadcast on the 3rd of October 2012, exposing how Savile had used his position and power at the BBC to abuse disabled and sick children at various hospitals, schools and on-site filming for the BBC, as I've already mentioned. Which also means, by obviousness and through further evidence I will provide in a minute, that the BBC knew about it and covered it up for decades, and then shelved the Newsnight programme their own journalists had made after he had died. Paul Gamcini, who worked in the office next door to Jimmy Savile while at BBC One Radio from 1973, said he was aware of rumours Savile was a necrophile. He stated, and I quote, "The expression which I came to associate with Savile's sex partners was the now politically incorrect underage subnormals. He targeted the institutionalised, the hospitalised, and this was known. Why did Jimmy Savile go to hospital? That's where the patients were." And that's the end of a quote. He actually quoted that.
The BBC continue to deny that they had any knowledge of the alleged assaults. A former press officer for the corporation has admitted that the controller of Radio 1 asked him to look into abuse rumours in the 1970s. It comes as new audio has emerged in which Jimmy Savile appears to be behaving inappropriately with a young girl. Some viewers may find parts of Aporica Brand's report distressing.
Audio has emerged from archives of a BBC Radio 1 recording of Savile's travels from 1975. It would have been normal for a BBC sound recordist and producer to have been present. We don't know whether it was broadcast. We don't know who the young girl is.
Who's your best pal, tell me?
No, there's no.
He's not? No, he's not.
Get off me.
Because he's a married man.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Get off.
I won't. Not
Oh,
until,
you're talking.
not until you say me.
Me.
So I promise
I promise.
that you, Jimmy Savile,
You two Sarah
are the only one
are the only one.
in my life,
No, you're not the only one in my life.
and Noel Edmonds and all them others is definitely not. Ooh. No. Who's your best pal?
You as a pal cannot fly that side.
Hey? I beg your pardon. In front of your mummy and daddy? Goodness gracious.
Now, the former chairman of the BBC charity telethon Children in Need, Sir Roger Jones, said Savile had been barred from involvement because of the rumours about his inappropriate interest in young girls. Savile had appeared 3 times over 5 years before Sir Jones became chairman, but he barred him as soon as he became chairman of the charity. Now, the journalists who broke the story received the same treatment that Sargon is getting now, where the BBC smeared their reputation, resulting in one quitting within months of the scandal and the other being fired a year or so later. The whole investigation into this scandal is vast and far too long for me to go over here. Video would take about 4 hours. Links to the sources will be in the description if you want to know any more about this, but it's abhorrent, so I really wouldn't want to. What we need to ask is how the BBC can sit there and be outraged demanding apologies like they have some moral authority about making rape jokes when they literally covered up their biggest star raping disabled children for 49 years. I think 1 million rape jokes does not even compare to one of the rapes that they covered up over the last half a century.
Man's gonna kill this shit, you'll need SWAT and medics too. Off with the contract credits due. Punchline king, I'm ahead of you. A&E's where you're heading to. Whip is green but the lights are blue. Bars are shit, take the mic from you. Heating up cheese, I don't like fondue. Bounty on your head, no coconuts. All black attire while I hold my nuts. British boy with American spirit. Just rolling blunts. It's not a game, but it's just like bop it. When I'm rolling up, cause I feel the grind and chip and razor and flick the lighter and see the ash and just see the cash and get wicked. The bars got her addicted. 40% in my liquid. Pussy juice on my dickhead.